Hey, what's going on, Luke here? Earlier this season, when State of Origin was around, I did top 5 players to watch for State of Origin. Now, I think it's fitting that the Grand Final is here. I think we should do a top 5 players to watch in the Grand Final. Now, when I do these sort of videos, it doesn't necessarily mean the most important player or the best player in the field. Now, sometimes I do end up mentioning those sort of players, but with this sort of list, it can involve players who are inexperienced or under the pump or playing with injury, those sort of things. And with a high pressure, high stakes game like the Grand Final, there's going to be plenty of players to talk about and plenty of moments to talk about. Now, as I stated at the start of the video and the title, this isn't a top 5. This is just 5 players to watch. This isn't in any particular order. Number 1 isn't more important than number 5. It's just 5 players in random order that I picked. Also, don't get too upset if I missed a player or there's a player you disagree with or something along the lines of that. Anyways, I'm not going to waste any more time with this intro. We're going to get into our list. But before we do so, I just want to take the time to say if you do happen to enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to use the notification bell. Don't rely on the sub boxes, especially now. Don't rely on the sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. My Facebook is Mr. Luke, but everything else is Mr. Luke and YT, including Snapchat and TikToks. Go ahead, give me a follow, give me an ad. Also, check out the merch. There's Grand Final merch. There's also just Mr. Luke random merch, so go ahead and check it out. Maybe cop some of your own. I put a lot of time and effort into this one, so definitely go and cop some. And that's all that out of the way. Let's get into the actual list itself. So the first player we're going to be talking about is Nathan Cleary. I was talking about not necessarily talking about the best player on the side, but I started this list off talking about literally the best player in probably the whole game, and that's Nathan Cleary. I think I'm just stating the obvious when I put him on this list as 5 players to watch, and I've talked about the importance of him to this Penrith side. If he plays well, Penrith win. It's as simple as that. I think you can look at all the other players, but if Nathan Cleary has a 10 out of 10 game, there's no way Penrith don't win this one. I know Adam Reynolds and Cody Walker and Jerome Luai, Dylan Edwards, Blake Tuff. There's a lot of other players who can influence this one. Coruscant, Damien Cook, but there's no one more important than Nathan Cleary, and I know that, and you know that. Everybody knows that. So I thought I'd just state the obvious here and just mention it. Otherwise, people will be like, "Why are you not talking about Nathan Cleary?" But obviously, if he plays well, the Panthers win, and he's definitely capable of it. However, I will say, when there's big, high-pressure games, he does have a tendency to sort of go missing. I know he sort of fixed that up a little bit. We saw for State of Origin, he was a lot better. But in the Grand Final last year, he was absolutely shocking. One of the worst games I saw him play. And then he followed up that Origin series by playing like shit. So Nathan Cleary does have a bad game in him with a bit of pressure, but we'll see how he goes this year. This is his second crack, and he seems to get things right the second time around. So I think he will get it right this game. But I wouldn't be that surprised if he does go a bit missing in this game too. I think it's just more so he's got the rest of the players around him who might be able to step up. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Nathan Cleary does go missing. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and he's man of the match. It's sort of just the player he is. Now, moving on to the second player. I've already talked about one halfback. May as well talk about the other halfback. It's Adam Reynolds. Now, once again, very similar to Nathan Cleary. You can pretty much take all the things I said about Nathan Cleary and just apply them to Adam Reynolds too. If Adam Reynolds plays a 10 out of 10 game, the Rabbitohs win. It's as simple as that. Adam Reynolds is their goal kicker. He is their kicking game essentially, and he is under an injury cloud as well. Last week we saw that he wasn't goal kicking, so that is quite interesting. I think it was a bit of a groin injury they were saying. They said he picked it up throughout the week and he tried to goal kick, but he didn't feel right. However, I thought he actually played pretty well. Didn't do much of the in-game kicking, but the few kicks he did I thought were pretty decent. But Cody Walker really stepped up with the kicking game. But Adam Reynolds, he is the kicker of the side, and if he's not kicking, and it's something that I would expect the Panthers to exploit. We saw last week they've done their homework. They looked at Addo coming in and they took advantage of that. I would assume they could find some sort of weakness in Adam Reynolds if he is carrying an injury. And like I said last week, although he was carrying an injury, it wasn't super obvious. It didn't look super obvious anyways. He was still defending well. He's still doing his part. So I think he can carry it. It's not like it's a season-ending injury that he's trying to play through. This isn't a Cooper Cronk situation where the rest of the team is literally carrying him. I think Adam Reynolds can do his part, but I think it is important that he does actually play his part, doesn't crumble under the pressure, and has a pretty decent performance. I think he just needs to steer them around, and the rest of the side can do their thing. But Adam Reynolds is essential to this side, and he definitely has to play, and he has to play well. And it's going to be interesting to see if he ends up goal kicking this game. There's sort of a scenario I've been thinking of is, what if there's a situation like the Thurston goal at the end of the 2015 Grand Final, scored in the corner, had a shot from the sideline to win the game. Does Blake Tuff, does he goal kick throughout the whole game? And if a situation comes up like that, does Adam Reynolds just take over and say, "See you, kid, I'm taking this one"? Or does he let the kid take the shot? Also, another element for Adam Reynolds is the fact that this is his last game for the Rabbitohs as well. So he wants to leave on a good note. And obviously he wants to win a premiership, but also the fact that it's his last game for the club, I think it'd be very important to him. He's been there since 2012. He's been there a bloody long time, going to the Broncos, playing in front of his future home stadium at Suncorp. I think it'll be a big moment for Adam Reynolds, and I think he will step up. Now, moving on to the third player of this list, I'm going to be talking about William and Kickout. I was originally going to be talking about Dylan Edwards, but I think it's kind of obvious Dylan Edwards needs a big game. Kicker is the one that I want to talk about because of how poor he played in last year's grand final. He got up there, looked like he was trying to do too much. He was trying silly offloads, he was dropping the ball a lot, just doing stuff that was sort of out of character. However, I have seen lately that it kind of is in his character. That's kind of what he tends to do. However, we know what he's capable of. We know he can be quite damaging, and if Kicker gets it right, he will be unstoppable. I can't see the Rabbitohs stopping him. And if they do, it's going to take a lot of juice out of them. So I think William Kicker, I think he is key to this Panthers side, especially with the apparent injury of Tavita Pengai Jr. They're talking about him probably not playing, and that's a big loss for Penrith. He's been incredible off the bench, but Kicker's also been coming off the bench, and he's been playing really, really well. You have Kate, you got Liam Martin who can start. You also got Isaiah Yeo there in the back row. But we know the Rabbitohs, they hit hard, they run hard. And for me, the only player who can match up against this Rabbitohs second row is William Kicker. I know Liam Martin on his day can do it, but Kurt Capewell's not that sort of player. He's just a different sort of player. We see him shift from centre to second row. He's that sort of guy. He's versatile, he's quick, he's got good hands, he's got good footwork, but he's not that big powerhouse. And Kicker is definitely that. So if Kicker can get the errors out of his game in the grand final and just calm his nerves, I think he should be right. And I think if Penrith are to win, he'll be a key element of them actually winning this game. Now moving on to the fourth player of this list, I'm going to be talking about Dane Gagai. That's right, Origin Gags. Is he going to turn up? Is he going to be Origin Gags, or is he going to be grand final Gags? We've seen him step up time after time for Queensland, but is he capable of doing that in a grand final? It remains to be seen. He's never played in one. I think he can do it. It makes sense. If he can do it in the Origin arena, surely he can do it in the grand final arena, but he's comfortable in Origin at this stage. He's been in the team for years, whereas the grand final, this is a one-off, this issue moment. This is also his last game for the Rabbitohs as well. I feel like that's something that seems to get glossed over. We talk about Adam Reynolds leaving. Dane Gagai is also leaving. He's been a huge part of the Rabbitohs' success in the last couple of years. When he signed for them, I just saw Dane Gagai as a glorified winger who was playing centre, whereas now I see him as an out-and-out centre. He is a star centre. I was talking yesterday how there's not really many out-and-out centres. I think Dane Gagai is one of them. Although he can play other positions, I think Dane Gagai right now is an out-and-out centre, and I think he's absolutely killing it this year. And we saw even a couple of weeks ago, they gave the ball to him. He just created something out of nothing, and that's what he's been doing this year. He's really stepped it up. And if the Rabbitohs are a chance of winning this game, he needs to do so in the grand final, and we know he can do it because we've seen him do it time after time for Queensland. He's the sort of player who steps up in these big games, and I think he's going to do it in the grand final. That's going to be a worry for Penrith fans. If Dane Gagai gets hot, the Rabbitohs going to be super hard to beat. Add in the next player we're going to be talking about, and that's Cody Walker, and you got that left-hand edge. That is a lethal duo, I'll tell you that. Also, if you didn't pick up on that, Cody Walker's number 5, so that's the 5th player on the list. Cody Walker. I talked about Adam Reynolds before. Cody Walker is just as important, and I feel like you can kind of talk about Adam Reynolds and Cody Walker hand in hand because they are the halfback and 5'8". It's kind of similar to Cleary and Luai, but this is a little bit different because I did talk about the Adam Reynolds injury. So with Adam Reynolds being injured, Cody Walker really needs to step up because you'd imagine he'd be doing more of the kicking and just doing more in general than he normally would. And this is a grand final. We've seen in the past, he is someone who definitely does crumble under the pressure. And this year he hasn't. And that's a big reason as to why they've actually made the grand final. We've seen in the past, as soon as it got to the final series, he just shut down. He really did shut down. Throughout the whole regular season, he was absolutely killing it. He was competing for Dally M's. He was 5'8" of the year or whatever. And then you get to the finals and it was like, where did Cody Walker go? He's not running yet. He's not setting up tries. He's not doing anything. However, this year, he just kept that roll on and he's helped the Rabbitohs make it to the grand final. The one question we have is he going to be able to perform in the grand final? We saw for State of Origin, for New South Wales, he wasn't really able to do it. He got dropped. In fact, he didn't just get dropped. He got hooked and they put him back on. So we have seen him crumble under the pressure. So we have seen him not handle the pressure too well, not only for the Rabbitohs, but also for New South Wales. And a big game like Origin is very similar to a grand final. So whether he can do it for the Rabbitohs in the grand final remains to be seen. But if he does turn it on, they're going to be very hard to stop. I keep saying this, they're very hard to stop. But these players are so important to the side that if any of these players turn it on, I think their side wins. And I really mean that. And no bigger player than Cody Walker. We know that if he gets going, you literally can't stop him. You just can't stop him. He's that effective. He just pops up in the right places. He sets up tries. He scores tries. He's so dangerous running with the ball. Even if there's an injury, you can chuck him in at fullback. Like if Blake Tough, if he shits the bed, you can chuck him at fullback, put Benji on, and you've got some experience there as well. So he just adds a lot of versatility to this side, and I really rate Cody Walker, and I hope he does have a great game because we've seen too many times him go missing in big games. So I think it'd be fitting for him to come out and have a hell of a game, and the Rabbitohs end up winning. But like I said, it remains to be seen what he's going to do under pressure. I think he can do it, but I guess we'll find out Sunday whether he's able to handle it. Anyways, those are my 5 players to watch. Let me know in the comment section below. Who are your 5 players to watch in the grand final? It doesn't have to be Penrith or Rabbitohs. You can pick a combination or you can pick just 5 players from one side. It's up to you, but let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you happen to enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to use the notification bell like I mentioned earlier. Don't rely on the sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. My Facebook is Mr. Luke, but everything else, including Snapchat, including TikTok, is Mr. Luke and YT. So go ahead, give me a follow, give me an ad. Also, go ahead and check out the merch. Like I said earlier, I made some grand final merch. Definitely go ahead and cop that. Especially if you're a Rabbitohs fan or a Penrith fan, I've got some designs specifically for you. So go and check it out. Anyways, that's where I'm going to end this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Stay tuned for more content on the channel. Going to be plenty of content to be made throughout grand final week. Going to be streaming on Sunday as well, doing a big stream. So stay tuned for that. And that's where I'm going to end this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See yous.